So the history of how I got into Kundalini Yoga was how a lot of people get into Kundalini Yoga. It was very backdoor. It was 1970, I think 70, May of 70, and a friend of mine had met somebody and she was so in love with him. Somehow we talked both of our parents in, and her father was a state senator in Missouri. And we talked both of our parents into letting us go to school at the University of Arizona. When we got there, this guy did not even remember her, much less he had a girlfriend. So he was just the conduit to get us there, right? But this other guy fell madly in love with her. Now, he was smart enough to know that if he wanted to invite her to dinner, he needed to invite both of us. So he did, and he made dinner for us. Now, when you're in college, somebody making dinner for you is really a treat, right? So, but he had such fun cooking, and the meal was fantastic. I was like, oh my God, he said, I'm a vegetarian. So I think this was 69. Anyway, I was like, well, what is that? And he explained it to me. And I was like, I became a vegetarian on the spot. So then he said, oh, he figured that was so easy. So he showed me that he was doing yoga in this closet with this book, the only book that was published at that time. And I loved the concept of yoga, but I didn't want to do it from a book in a closet. So I kind of, put it out there. Did anybody know where there was yoga? Nobody even knew what it was. And then I got an assignment from my speech class. And it was do a speech on something that you're interested in, but you know nothing about. And I was like, yoga! So I went to the library, and there were all these manuscripts with all these cute little guys with these diapers on. That's what I thought they were at that time, right? Their dhoti cloths. And these little bright eyes, not a woman in sight. And I just, read a bunch of stuff on it, and then I looked at the poses, and I could do them. So I went and gave a talk complete with, putting my foot behind my head and doing all these poses, which really are not what yoga's about. But anyway, at the time, that was my comprehension. And all these people came up to me afterwards and said, well, where can we do this thing called yoga? And I was like, I don't know, but, let's find out. So in May, somebody ran in and said, there's yoga in the park. So it wasn't like I chose the type. I had already been doing TM and self-realization. And the thing that I loved about yoga and this style is I felt like I could bring my body with me into the court of the divine. It's like the whole Judeo-Christian is your body is bad. And this was like, oh my God, I had this ecstatic experience in my body. And I loved that. So it's really a lifestyle. This path is really a lifestyle. So when I met Yogi Bhajan, did I immediately fall in love? No. I met him at the very first solstice, and it was a truly strange experience. And I came back, and I think I started doing like self-realization again. And then I got back into this because I just loved the way I felt doing the yoga and the chanting and the meditation. It was just more powerful for me than anything else that I had done. And then I went to the next solstice, and then I moved into an ashram in DC, and from there, Yogi Bhajan, like I was there for 6 months. Then he arranged my marriage and sent me to Canada to open spiritual communities all over Canada and train teachers. On the ground training, yes. So quite the leap. I mean, everyone who came around him in the beginning was sent out somewhere to expand the teachings. And I remember the first time I heard comfort zone, I was like, what? We were so out of our comfort zone all the time on every level. But the only place to go was our meditation, our practice. And so, we were living with, I think there were 50 people, plus another 10 kids and stuff in our community. So there was no place to go and be by yourself, really. And there weren't all these cafes everywhere like there is now. And, so it was always, everything was full and chaotic, and So the only place to go was within. And so that was a huge gift of really getting the in-depth of what this really was, and knowing that it could sustain me through all sorts of things. I mean, I've had an arranged marriage. I have been divorced. I was a single mother. I had bankruptcy. My daughter died about 3.5 years ago. So you name it, I've been through it, and I know what these practices do, because most other people would not have survived, much less be thriving, right? And it's like, my daughter's not dead. She's just not here. And do I miss her? Yes, I do. But we've had, between my partner and I, we've been together 7 years, and we've had 7 people very close to us leave in 7 years. So it's been a really interesting journey. But these are the things, you know, the last 2 months that we spent with my daughter, we got up and meditated every morning. We did yoga. Anytime that she went in for, you know, something that she was out of the room, we'd go outside in the courtyard and do yoga. And just so that we could bring, you know, that grace and love in the room when we came back.